This video is going to be about the cQ-Cumulative pivot levels, version 2. This is the indicator. We're using the normal pivots on a reset period of a week. And the time frame is 4 hours. And that's what it looks like. These are the normal pivot levels. The gray is the mid levels. The red is the resistance levels, and the green is the support levels. Change this to an hourly. Let me back out a little. You can see it. Okay. And then right now it's using the previous cumulative moving average to calculate this central pivot point. Even though right now it looks like it's using this one, it doesn't. It uses this point and the high and the low to calculate the next central pivot for the next week. So if you were to then choose this one, where it's the starting price, which is the normal way of calculating it, it moves it to there. So you have the high and the low, and then the close over here, previous close. And again, if you want to change the start time of it, we're on the 1 hour. If you put it to 2 hours, it's going to move it ahead 2 hours. So right now it's 2 hours ahead. Here we'll put it back to 0. So that's down here. You can see it's 0. The thing you need to remember about this is if I were to set this to 1 minute, just a single minute ahead, for example, and you're on an hourly chart, it's going to move it to the next candle. If that were a 4-hour candle, here we'll switch this to 4 hours, and I wanted to just move it ahead 1 minute, for example, or 5 minutes, or anything like that, it will move 1 4-hour candle right here. It'll move it ahead or to the right. And I also added these lines here in case you're used to these, and you can, if you want these to be solid or whatever, you can change that down here, the style, and then the width of them. These are the colors just for these particular bands, because I also have the linear right here, normal linear levels, which they're all gray, like that. And sometimes you don't necessarily need 32. Maybe 8 will do. It all depends on how long this reset period is and how fast the price is moving. Okay. It has this auto pips per level, but if it's not working for you and you want to change it to something else, like for example, if you want to see what the automated one is, it's 50. You can see right here, it says weekly, linear, 50, using the close. It's like you want it to 100. You can then set this to 100, and it's going to put 100 pips between each level. And then again, if you want to have the reset level start either at the previous cumulative moving average level or the starting price of that candle that started the week. See how it moved it down here? Okay, there's 2 different ways. And then of course, if you want to use, you can change this, get a different level. Sometimes using the open, for example, on the yearly chart. This is an interesting one, but what I should explain is that on this weekly, we'll go back to the weekly. On the weekly chart, you can change the start day. If the time frame is on a 4-hour or less, as it shows here, you can change these. These will have an effect on the start time. If you're using the daily or above, they won't. Like if we wanted to move the start day 1 day ahead, there you go. Okay, and then I have the quarterly. You can select which month, January, February, or March. You can try that. Watch, this will select February. it moves it ahead that much, which gives you a little different response. And then at the yearly, and on the yearly, you can select the start month. I'm going to put all these, I'm going to put it to 200. Okay. See right here, this is, if you look up here, we're in January. And if you want to move it to February, okay, if you look up here again, and I put the candle here, it's now February. So that's what that does. You also have Fibonacci levels, and then you can use your own user file. The default file name will be overwritten, but I'll show you. You have to go to the MT4 program, go to File, open the data folder. Then you go in here, UL4, and then go to Files, and it's in here. And right now we're using this. We're on bands 32. This default file is what these are, these levels. And what you can see is this is how it's laid out. These first 16 are for the upper, which these are kind of listed. You can see that this 15 here is this line right here. 3 is the next one. 4.5, the next one. Down here, this negative is this one here, this one here, and so forth. So what you could do is you could save this as test, and then you can, we'll change this first one. We'll change it to 2, just so you can see what it does, and we'll change the bottom one to 2. Okay, and then we're using the user file. I'm going to type the name test in here. And if you notice, those are now 2. They're different, but we're now using that table. So there's a different one for each number of bands, for the 4, 8, 16, and 32. The default files that are in there are overwritten each time indicator runs. So don't save it as default. Save it as something different. There are a number of different numeric sequences. Wikipedia has some, or you can just make up your own, however you want to do it. I am working on one. It's just using the ATR to generate these numbers, but we'll have to see what happens with that. I think that's pretty much it for this, but okay.